Want to write cold emails that actually get responses? In this tutorial, I will show you how to personalize your outreach using Perplexity AI and ChatGPT, crafting emails that stand out and feel tailor-made just in minutes. Let us dive in and transform your cold email game. Check out the links in the description if you'd like to get all the resources used in building this automation. Tools we need to set up this automation are make.com to automate the workflows. You can create a free account with Make. With free account, you will get 2 free active scenarios and 1000 free operations. That is sufficient for creating this automation workflow. Here is their pricing plans page. They have different tiers of subscriptions. Make.com is a powerful no-code automation tool. Next, we will need Perplexity AI API key. I made a separate video with the title How to Create API Key for Perplexity AI. You can refer to the link in the video description. We will use Google Sheets to store details about the leads. We'll also use ChatGPT with the OpenAI API key. We will use ChatGPT to generate the personalization. I made a separate video with the title How to Create OpenAI API key. You can refer to the link in the video description. You can also use any other alternate AI large language model such as Claude AI. Make sure you have some credit balance in all your API key accounts. Gather all above details beforehand so that you can build Make automation without interruption. Download the resources I provided in the description before you start building the automation. Using the template provided will save you a lot of time compared to building it from scratch. You should also be having the lead list that needs to be enriched with personalization in Google Sheet file. Here you can see the lead list Google Sheet file. I just have 2 rows for demonstration purpose. Here we have added summary and personalization columns. You can see they are empty right now. We also have the first name, last name and other details here. Here we have the LinkedIn URL from where the profile will be read by Perplexity AI. This will be a simple workflow. Let us look at the process flow and the steps involved to accomplish that. This is the AI lead enrichment flow. First, we have this Google Sheet with the lead information. We will be reading that Google Sheet first. This will be having the LinkedIn profile URL. Then we will use Perplexity AI to scrape the profile information and generate the summary from the profile. Then we will use ChatGPT to enrich the lead based on the profile information. Then finally we will update that information into the Google Sheet. From here onwards, you can incorporate the personalization in your cold email campaign. There is a greater chance of getting better responses when you use personalization in the cold emails. To start working with the Make template, first log into your Make account. Here you can see I am logged into my Make account. First we will need to import the blueprint I provided in the resource section. Click on create a new scenario here. Then click on this 3 dots. Then click on this import blueprint. Then click on this choose file. Navigate to the directory location where you saved the template file. Select the file and then click on this open button. Once the file is selected here, click this save button here. You can see the model has been imported. First module is the leads to enrich Google Sheets module. We use this module to supply the information about the leads. Click on this module to configure it. If you already created a connection, it will be available for selection in this drop down box. Else you will see create a connection option here. Once you click on that, you will see this create a connection dialog box pop up. You can give any name here for the connection. Then click on this sign in with Google button and follow the prompts and allow Make to establish connection to your Google Sheet. You will see this dialog box once the connection is established successfully. You can see here I am already connected to my Google Sheet account. In the search method, we will just use search by path, and then in the drive, we will be using the My Drive location under your Google account. Make sure to upload this Google Sheet file into your My Drive location. Then click in this field and allow it to refresh. Once it refreshes, you'll be able to see your own Google Sheet file here. In our case, this is Apollo Trust underscore demo. Let me select this, and this is the sheet name. For the range, we are giving from the 2nd row to 3rd row, and this is the last column in our Google Sheet. You can increase this range depending on the number of rows in your Google Sheet. When you are doing it on a big scale, you may be having 5,000 or 6,000 rows. Accordingly, you will need to modify this range. Our Google Sheet contains column names. That's why we have selected the table contains headers to yes. Then click on this OK button here. Now we can do a small test to see how it is working. It's a good idea to keep testing the workflow as we build to make sure we are getting the expected result. To do that, right click on this line and select unlink option. Then click on this run once button. You can see the module ran and then this is the output that we got. Now let us connect back the modules. Next we have scrape profile Perplexity AI module. Here we are using Perplexity AI to scrape the LinkedIn profile information. We got the LinkedIn URL from previous Google Sheets module. Perplexity AI is a large language model which has access to internet while using the browser and the API as well. We are instructing it to read the LinkedIn profile and generate summary for that LinkedIn contact. Click on this module to configure it. If you already created a connection, it will be available for selection in this drop down box. Else you will see create a connection option here. And once you click on that, you will see this create a connection dialog box pop up. You can give any name here for the connection. Since we already have our API key, enter the API key and establish the connection. Let me quickly show you where to find the API key in Perplexity AI. First you need to log in to your Perplexity AI account. Then beside your profile icon, click on this settings gear icon. Then click on this API button. Then under the API keys section, you will see your API key here. Click on this copy button. Then paste the API key here and then click this save button. You will see this dialog box once the connection is established successfully. You can see here I am already connected to my Perplexity AI account. For the model, we are going to select the model that ends with online so that it can access the websites. Then here we are giving the instructions to Perplexity AI. The first prompt, we are providing the role as system and then we are telling it you are a helpful intelligent writing assistant. Write a profile summary to be used in a cold email. Use the provided LinkedIn profile as information. Then in the second prompt, we have provided role as user and then we are instructing it to write only about information found in the LinkedIn profile and not to write any extra information. Sometimes it may make up on its own. We are telling it to write only about the person as this is a personalization email icebreaker. We are telling it to read the latest information about the person from their LinkedIn profile. And then we are giving few more instructions here. And finally, in the last prompt, we have provided the actual link for the LinkedIn contact. You can click in this field to see the available fields from the previous Google Sheet module. Here, the column P from the Google Sheet contains the LinkedIn URL. That's what we have provided here. Then max tokens we have provided as 700 and temperature we have provided as 0 so that it will write only the factual information. When the number is low, it will write factual information. When the number is high, it will get creative and then write its own makeups. Once the configuration is complete here, click on this OK button. Let us test once and see how it is working. To do that, right click on this link and then select unlink. Then click on this run once button. You can see it ran successfully. We can examine the output by clicking on this magnifying glass. We had 2 rows. That's why we see here 2 operations. Let us expand this. We can check what it wrote by expanding these choices. Then expand this. Then expand the message. Then expand the content. Here you can see the summary Perplexity AI wrote about the contact from the LinkedIn URL information. We can close this out. We know it is working perfectly so far. Let us connect back the modules to continue the configuration. Now we have generate icebreaker ChatGPT module. Here we are using artificial intelligence to generate a personalized icebreaker that we can use to send out cold emails. Click on this module to configure it. If you already created a connection, it will be available for selection in this drop down box. Else you will see create a connection option here. Once you click on that, you will see this create a connection dialog box pop up. You can give any name here for the connection. Here you need to copy and paste the API key and optionally the organization ID also. Let me quickly show you where to find the OpenAI API key and organization ID. You will need to log into your OpenAI account for that. Then click on this settings gear icon. Then click on this your profile button. Then click on this user API keys. Here you will see your API key. You can copy your API key from here and then click on this general button. Here you can see your organization ID. You can copy this organization ID, then paste them here and then click on the save button. You will see this dialog box once the connection is established successfully. You can see here I'm already connected to my OpenAI account. For the select method, we have selected create a chat completion, and then for the model we have chosen GPT-4o mini system. This is the least expensive model of all the models. You can click in this drop down box to select any other GPT model. Here we are giving prompts to ChatGPT. For the first prompt, we have provided role as system, and then we are telling it you are a helpful, intelligent writing assistant. Then in the second prompt, we have given the role as user, and then we are telling it to write a personalized icebreaker to be used in a cold email. We are saying use the provided LinkedIn profile as information, and then we are telling it to respond in JSON only and end with figured I would reach out. Here we have given few examples so that ChatGPT will know how to write the output. Here we have provided the summary that looks similar to summary from a LinkedIn profile. It will be better to provide 2 or 3 examples to ChatGPT so that it can learn how it should produce the output. Then here is the next prompt. We have provided role as assistant, and we're telling this is the expected output from ChatGPT. This is the icebreaker. It says love your podcast mate. I would consider myself at the intersection of blockchain, AI and VR as well, and figure I would reach out. Similarly, we have provided another example for message 5. The role we have provided as user, and then we gave this information as summary. Then again we gave the prompt, and then we have specified role as assistant, and then we have provided the example output. This is the icebreaker based on the information that is provided earlier. Finally, we have given the actual field for the summary, which has been produced by the Perplexity AI module, so that it can write the icebreaker based on this information. Max tokens we have provided as 250. Again, temperature we have provided as 0 so that it will write only the factual information. Once you finish the configuration here, click on this OK button. Let us test it and see how it is working so far. To do that, right click on this line and then select the unlink option. Then click on this run once button. You can see the scenario is running. We see the ChatGPT module ran successfully. Let us click on this magnifying glass to view the output. We can expand this operation too, and then here is the output. This is the icebreaker. It is working perfectly so far. Let us close this out. Let us connect these modules back. Next is the parse JSON module. The parse JSON module transforms complex JSON data into a usable format. In our specific scenario, it separates out field name and field value so that next module can access the field value directly. That is, the output will contain field name as icebreaker and field value as the text for the icebreaker. Click on this module once, and you can see here for the JSON string we have provided the output from the previous ChatGPT module. You can click in this field to see the values from the previous modules. Here we have selected the result module that contains the icebreaker. Click OK button here. Let us again test it once. To do that, right click on this line and select unlink option. Then click on this run once button. You will get this warning message. A transformer should not be the last module in the route. You can check this ignore warnings button and then click on this run anyway button. We can see the scenario is running. We can see it finished running successfully. We can click on this magnifying glass to see the output. We can expand this operation too. You see now the string has been separated into 2 fields. The icebreaker is the label for the field, and then this is the text for the field. Let us close this out. It's working perfectly so far. Let us connect these modules back. You might have noticed we have this ignore error handler module here. We are using this ignore error handler module to handle invalid JSON data or unexpected parsing errors from this parse JSON module. What this will do is it will continue to next row when it encounters any error instead of stopping the scenario completely. If you don't have this error handler module and then for any reason there is a parsing error here, the entire scenario will be stopped. Since you may be running this scenario for 5000 rows or 6000 rows in your Google Sheet, there may be a high chance that you may receive some parsing errors. Lastly, we have enriched leads Google Sheet update row module. Here we are going to update the summary and personalization columns in our Google Sheet. The update row module allows you to modify existing data within a specific row of your Google Sheet. Click on this module to configure it. You should be able to use the Google Sheet connection you already established in the first Google Sheet module. You can see here I am already connected to my Google Sheet account. Again, for the search method, we are using search by path, and the drive we are using my drive, and for the spreadsheet it is the same spreadsheet that we have used here. You can click in this field to allow it to refresh. Then for the row number, we have specified the row number that corresponds to the row that needs to be updated. Then table contains headers is set to yes, as the Google Sheet has column names, and here you can see the different column names. Let us scroll down, and here in the summary column we have specified the output from the Perplexity AI module here, which contains the summary that it scraped from LinkedIn URL. And in the personalization column, we're updating it with the icebreaker that has been generated by our ChatGPT module. Once you finish the configuration here, click on this OK button. Now our scenario is ready for testing. Save the scenario by clicking this save icon. And before we run it, let us look at the spreadsheet. Here is the spreadsheet that has the lead information. You can see here the columns AV and AW that correspond to summary and personalization are empty now for these two rows. Now let us go back to the make scenario and click on this run once button. You can see the scenario is running. You can see the Google Sheet is getting updated. Let us look at the Google Sheet now. You can see the summary and personalization columns have been populated. Let us check the personalization column. You can see it has been updated properly. It says your journey from political science to board member at STFA group is impressive. It is based on the profile information that Perplexity AI scraped. It also added figured I'd reach out, since we have mentioned this in the prompt. After completing the scenario configuration and testing to make sure it is working as per your expectation, you can schedule the scenario to run at regular intervals if you want, like on a daily basis. You can click on this schedule button. Then here you can specify the schedule settings. You can click on this drop down box and then specify when you want to run this scenario. You can specify it to run every day based on your requirement, and then you can also specify the time here. Then click on this OK button here. Then you will get a pop-up which says your scenario is scheduled but not active yet. In order for the scenario to run, it should be activated. You can activate it by clicking on this activate scenario button. You can see now your scenario is active. Here you can see the green button. Congratulations, you successfully built make workflow automation to enrich your lead data with personalization using artificial intelligence tools, Perplexity AI and ChatGPT. If you need help building any kind of automations such as this one, or an automated proposal generation system, automated lead generations, setting up cold email machines for your marketing campaign, please reach out to me. If you found this video useful, please like, share, comment and subscribe to my channel. Let me know in the comments section if there is any specific topic you want to be covered. Bye until next video.